All right, all right. Welcoming everybody to Phoenix Holding main chat. We are hosting today's Spume, and we have Jeff Juker here speaking for us. Welcome in, and we're glad to host you here. Today, I'm your host. I'm Federico. Hope you find a good space here, and we are glad to listen to you and all the emotional things that you're gonna say about your project. So please give us a fast introduction of yourself, what you do on the project, what the project is, and so on. Please.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to start off by saying thank you to you guys for having us here. It's a great honor to be able to be here and help spread some news about Spume to you today. So, as mentioned, my name is Jeff Juker. I'm our chief, relations and information officer here at Spume. I've been with the team since day one and kind of, helped bring the project to where it is, along with our other core team members. And it's been a wild ride, and I'm excited to talk about it more today. I've been involved in crypto personally since about 2017 as an investor first, and then got involved in a few different projects, kind of on the operations side. It's been a long time coming to get to this point. So dive into Spume a little bit, and I'll start with some backstory on it. So, as I mentioned, a few other core team members and myself, we had the idea to build Spume little over, it's probably almost been 2 years now. And it kind of started as two core fundamentals. It was the idea for the DAO governance, and it kind of developed to merge into with an NFT marketplace. So as we've been on this long journey for the last year, it kind of evolved from being what we would call a passion project between all of us, something that we could work on in our free time, to, it's now our full-time jobs and life's work. And it's gone from just a marketplace to now, we're a full-blown protocol. So the Spume protocol itself, it's an end-to-end transactional layer that aims to facilitate payment infrastructure for both physical and digital non-fungible token assets. So the first DApp to be built on this protocol is the Spume marketplace. This marketplace, it allows for the tokenization of off-chain real-world assets like real estate NFTs, as well as digital licensing. So the Spume protocol, it's going to allow for businesses and brands to issue branded NFTs via their native websites, or through the Spume marketplace itself. There's a couple different ways to approach that. And the Spume marketplace is going to act as both an issuer and aggregator for all NFTs issued via the protocol. So this is something that none of our competitors are building an NFT infrastructure that's going to be able to penetrate multiple different off-chain industries and provide these custom storefronts in the manner that we are doing it.
Interesting, actually. And very interesting how to apply NFTs to real life, to properties especially. So I think that you guys faced some not issue but way to proceed. I see it in the technical paper, for example, the digital licensing that you need to go through this method is quite interesting to read from. Might you explain us a little bit more what are the issues that you might face in constructing all this NFT's proposal, especially for real estate and the licensing for it, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's every different DApp that's going to be built on this protocol is going to present its own number of difficulties and issues in development, and on our journey to bring it to market. So that's why these DApps don't exist, is because there's problems with just doing them. So specifically on the real estate side, there's a lot of legalities involved with the transaction of real estate. This is something that we have, the biggest law firm in the state of Oregon, where we're based out of, where we'll be doing a lot of our proof of concept work. We have them on a permanent retainer to help us kind of navigate all of the legalities regarding this different scenario. And then as far as the licensing goes, there's going to be some extensions to our, the ERC 721 smart contract to be able to and I apologize, I'm not our tech guy, so going into detail, I get a little messy, so I don't want to misspeak here, but it's going to create kind of a spider web and tracking form to be able to kind of just, see who uses what NFTs for what purpose, from down the line to the original creation of the first NFT that was used. And this is applicable to many different industries, right? So this is going to be in the music industry, and pretty much anything intellectual property related. So that's, patents, CAD work, designs, things among that nature, can all be utilized by multiple individuals by purchasing a licensure to it.
Sorry, I didn't want to put you like in a bad light. I didn't know you wasn't that guy, but I'm sure that everybody here will be able to find their own information that they want to find your technical papers. Actually, congratulations, I like it a lot. It's very detailed. Now is formulate. I see you have a lot of partners as well. A lot of listing being sold out already. A lot of have to come more. Um, how was the fundraising going? I mean, you raised 4 million in the private sale. I think was a very good thing to have it done. I mean, it's a very big amount, especially on bear market. What do you think gonna be the outcome after all having a lot of places where you do listening? You're gonna touch a lot of user base. So I think that the plan is quite solid and like it a lot. How you guys are committed on success. Again, talking about your project, I want to talk about competition. You a little bit mentioned it before, what others are up to and why you're better than them. Can you go a little bit more on details? Why you think that your platform is more sustainable than others and what you accomplished that others have not?
Exactly. So, at the forefront of competition is the fact that nearly all of our competitors in the space, are coming from a place where they are very linear and very hyper niche in what they are trying to do with NFTs, and that is being in the market of selling JPEGs, transacting JPEGs, however you would like to explain that. And our main number one goal is kind of the redefinition of NFTs to be able to utilize the blockchain technology behind them and apply them to multiple different on and off chain industries. So it's that expansion and to be able to be a protocol that can assist in, other companies building dApps upon to carry out these transactions. So we want to be the vector for, expansion of what an NFT is and to be able to transact that. Our marketplace at its core, our art marketplace that's launching, I believe that's tomorrow, actually, the mainnet going live. That's going to be, it's going to have a very similar look and feel to, the current market, different NFT marketplaces, I apologize, that are out there right now. But our smart contracts are far more current, updated comparatively. OpenSea smart contracts were created in 2017, and they have not seen a mass overhaul to kind of adapt to the current market and the technology that's available now. So the UI I personally believe is better, and we really had to key in on ease of use as well, because we are going after a lot of off-chain industries, and that means off-chain individuals. So that integration needs to be very easy and intuitive.
Agree with you actually. Yeah, I think that you guys have a solid plan. I mean, collecting all this money is for sure comes along with bringing quality and have people that believes in what you do. May I ask you a little bit more about the rest of your team? I mean, I see stated somewhere just two people here. I'm sure that I can find some more on your website probably, but I would like to know more about their experience. If you might state some of them, and yeah, so on about what your team experience.
Absolutely. I believe Vardo has just joined us as well. He's one of our executive advisors, and he's been involved in the music industry for years. So I'll let him do his own introduction after I kind of hit on a couple of our other core team members. So on that page there of the pitch deck you're looking at, that's Beauregard Moody, our CEO. He's been involved, and I've worked very closely with him as well in multiple on and off chain companies that have done quite well. And then Silas Marvin, I've also worked close with him too. He's our CTO. He is currently running our entire in-house dev team. So all of the development that you see, any sort of proprietary technology that we put out, is all developed in-house. We don't outsource our development if we put the Spume name on it. So, Silas is in charge of all that. Also on board as far as our C-level execs go, Kenny Patel, our chief marketing officer, he ran a hype house in Bel Air, California, and gained over, I think it was 3.5 billion impressions over the course of a year. And Zevin Clark, our chief strategy officer, he's been off chain business guru, and he did a couple other on chain projects as well for a number of years. Very successful with his raises. And we have a series of, just great executive advisors on the team as well, including Vardo, Oliver Stamatoski, who you see there. We have just brought on the team. He came from, a corporate background, helping us do some restructuring and really keying in on the safety side of things. Leo there, also an executive advisor. So lots of great guys as far as our advisors go, and our C-level and our dev team, who you can, view on the website. We're a completely docs project, and a lot of us have our even personal social medias on there too. So
See some not very young face, which means experience, which is a plus. In my point of view, these people for sure they might know what they're doing. Not saying that youngers they don't, but experience sometimes is required. Have a different kind of vision and perspective in the way to go to the market and how to present themselves is for sure needed. We cannot do everything by ourselves, and more eyes that have passion and care for the project are for sure something that we're looking for in teams. And so I can say that your team is at least look well structured, and like what I'm saying. You said that somebody else joined it, probably Eduardo Besicio, if I correct.
yes.
Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir, to Phoenix Holdings. Please introduce yourself, and it's a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to have you.
Yeah, thank you. My name is Vardo Besicio, and thank you for having us. I've been involved in the business and music and technology business for over 4 decades now. Everything from the role of writer, producer, founder, CEO. I've taken 3 companies public in the dot-com era. And as of 2013 on, I've been involved in the crypto technology world, from blockchain development to trading, to moving into staking through Polkadot and so on. Very well versed in this area, more importantly in the technology birth that started from the internet. So you can basically say I started in Rotary and all the way down, all the way up to now in Web3. Understanding the roads that you have to travel and the execution that is needed to survive in the technology world, and to understand that fundamentals are extremely important to building a business, especially into migrating and inviting new people to come in and do e-commerce in a new ecosystem as Web3 and blockchain. So I can go through a lot more of that later, but this kind of gives you an idea of who we are. And I think you touched on something important, if I could say. The way the team is designed, it is a balance between, innovative youth, young energy, and thinkers, balanced with, some of the wisdom that experience brings to the table. And to keep one philosophy in mind is that, you can have a great idea and pretty papers written, but if you don't know how to execute and maintain growth by building a fundamental foundation behind your company, you're just going to be a flash in the pan and come in and out. And we will go through Spume as we go through this conference today, and we will separate ourselves from those who are just here quickly to the road, and then be able to really establish how the outside world, when I say outside world, Web 2 is going to work within the Web 3, and how we're planning on doing that. So thanks for having us.
Your speech, absolutely. Integration of Web 2 into Web 3 is something that everybody is looking for, is something that brings eyes and investors and brings new people inside of the ecosystem. So, absolutely, you're right. May I say something about your roadmap? Is a little bit like reductive, I think. I think you have a very big plans for the future. I just see some main things stated here in the roadmap. May you want to add some steps that you're gonna go to touch into the cues that you have in mind that are not mentioned here, or you think that everything is essential to be said and nothing more?
Yeah, I could take this and talk about something that we didn't really want to highlight until the technology was figured out to the point to where we could display it the way we need to, and the vision behind the protocol that we have called Spume. And when we look at Spume, we look at a channel with a network that has the ability to be able to introduce to the world adapt and innovative technologies that we work on that'll allow, like I said, the world to join. So let me take a moment and talk about something that we highlight in here, but we really didn't put it in until the technology was completely figured out. And that's the music content creation studio that Spume will be introducing shortly. The technology has been completely figured out to how we're going to integrate into Spume and allow the consumer to not only enjoy the production of content and music, animation, and eventually be able to go into many things like streaming. So I'll start with the application being introduced and what it's really going to do for both the consumer as well as invite new consumers in. And I'll take you back a little bit about some of the things I've been involved with and why it's so important to lead us into this conversation. Like I said, I've been fortunate enough to be around long enough to see the movement of technology and then what it takes to really have the consumer adapt to that technology. And what we always look for in technology is to make things faster, easier, and quicker to get to our content. And music being the absolute first thing that drives any kind of technology. I was there when we moved from CDs to MP3s, and the company I worked for, we were credited for putting the first MP3 online. And I had the opportunity to work with Apple on two different things, creating Apple GarageBand and also working in the movement of iTunes. As you know, they eliminated the CD stores and the record stores, and we started to purchase our iTunes, and that was the first movement of that technology in the internet. The first thing that ever sold on the internet was music and MP3s, and then we moved into the migration into iTunes, and from iTunes, that dominated the world, and then we moved into the new technology called streaming, and again, it's music that moved into the driving force behind the conversions and the adaptation of that market. Thus, taking us into what we're dealing with now in Web3 and what's really going to drive the Web3 and a technology within Web3, blockchain, smart contracts, NFTs as products, I believe is going to be the invitation to, you're not trying to convince anybody, but you invite them by utilizing state-of-the-art technology, innovative applications that will allow the consumer to be entertained as they move into the new world. And what Spume Studio will allow the consumers to do is three things. And first and foremost is that the avid user will be able to start producing their own music in a sophisticated 48 track, very, very powerful studio that will allow you to utilize virtual instruments, drum machines, things like virtual keyboards, cut and paste and click and drag loops that come from a library that really moved into a sequencer with an intuitive way of being able to really produce music, but powerful enough for the professionals to use as well. And why is that so important? Is because we're going to be able to tap into many different worlds and be able to create contests and marry collaborations within the studio and allow bebops to have contests and the avid singers, young producers to be able to come in and display their talent. And from that production, they can move into minting their products and be able to place it within our marketplace. So our marketplace is there. Our studios will be there to help create content that you can now mint and move. We can take some of the leading and biggest artists on the market today and be able to drop their NFTs within the marketplace, but also allow the consumer to remix those NFTs into the sequencers and come up with different ideas of the way the songs should be displayed through NFTs, and then be able to really saturate that market by allowing that same track to be done in many, many different ways and by many different people. And where this really comes into saying, okay, how are we going to be able to separate ourselves from everybody else? And then how are we going to be able to go out and be able to invite the consumer to come into our portal? This is how we're going to go to the Web 2 world and the social media world, but we're going to be able to invite the contest abilities, the abilities to be able to create that content and push it to your social media, such as TikTok and Instagram, be able to do that all within the domain of Spume. And the only thing you need is a browser. There's not a whole lot of, there's nothing to download. There's no memory restrictions. And because it operates within the browser, you can collaborate, save your production, revisit it again and rework it, whether you're in an airport, coffee shop, playing with games with your friends, at home, what have you. So this really levels the playing ground for anybody that wants to get into this world, figures a way to get into this world, and how we are going to separate ourselves from everybody else on the market by allowing these kind of applications to be happening. Now, having said that mouthful, the reason I say that is because, you know, with the way that Spume is designed and we share with our holders our revenues, it is very, very important to understand that we are not volatile to the currency market, the cryptocurrency market, whether the bear market or it's a bull market. We collect fees on whatever it is. So we have a fee-based and a subscription-based models that will work in this. So just like a television streaming now, you'll have different levels of how you can access the power of the studios by allowing yourself to, and this is not a heavy expense. We're talking about $10 a year, not a month, and $20 a year, not a month, to be able to access the most powerful tools available on the market today. And by saying a mouthful like this, we will introduce this to the market 30 days from launching our live net, which looks like it's going to be tomorrow. So within 30 to 45 days at the most, this will be available to the audience, to the community, to see not only what Spume is all about, but to also underline that Spume is an execution-driven company, not just vision and pretty papers and white papers and talking about these kind of situations. It's very, very important to understand the fundamental business model behind Spume is one for future growth, addressing today's needs, and then be able to bridge through our protocol the Web 2 world into the Web 3 world and vice versa. So you take big artists like Drake and Beyonce, Coldplay, or anything of that nature. It's not specific to any genre of music or entertainment. And with our protocol technology that's licensable, again, revenue models that are outside, we will be able to bring the Web3 world into the Web2 environment by creating the technology that we already have and the bridges through APIs and connect both worlds together. We have figured all that out. And this is what the exciting thing about what Spume offers. Every great story starts at once upon a time. And everybody laughed at this little company that came around in the late 90s, and I was there. And they were going to take the book selling business and put it online. And that little company was called Amazon. And so Amazon had the vision to do what they need to do. And just like we never thought Amazon would go and we move from books all the way to space exploration and development. Same goes for the Web3 world. It is we are at the beginning of it. There's a lot of learning curves to happen, but the vision that we have to have is a roadmap that we have to go back in history and understand that fundamentals and the way you start a business based on the fundamental aspects is everything.
You touched a lot of very interesting topic, and absolutely, I like what I hear here. It's very interesting to expand your market and to have the best exposure possible. If I might ask, do you already have some contact with very famous artists that want to produce on your platform? You have in plan to contact some of them. What is your stage out of the exposure with big people in the sector?
Well, absolutely. When, like I said, I've been involved in this world for over 4 decades. Without getting into the weeds, I've been involved in about 140 million records sold. I've been involved in the top 100 artists from today, yesterday, and tomorrow. Over 400 films and television programs under the belt. You can check my bio through that and be able to really see the experience that we bring to the table is at the level of creating partnerships with some of the biggest labels on the market and be able to do those 360 deals that are offered to all of the artists as we go along, as well as management and direct artists who are independent on their own. But the biggest market to not lose focus of is those that on their laptop, inexperienced, the millions of people that want to join a medium and a portal that will allow them to be creative and to share their creativity with the world, I think is the biggest bang for the buck over and above the big artist. But we do have those as well.
You know what you're doing, absolutely. So I have not a lot of questions actually. It's pretty explained pretty well under all your documents, website, white paper, technical paper as well is something amazing to read too. It needs a little bit of time to read through all of it, but I'm sure that the big investors in this community are very interested to see all the aspects that your company want to touch and how they explain that. The DAO is really something also that is very important for the community. And you might want to touch a little bit this aspect of your company, how you see the DAO proceeding, how much is important the community out of the decision that the company might do, what kind of decision the community might you want that the community might want to go to. If you want to touch that a little bit for us, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we wanted to structure the DAO in a sense to where this was a truly, decentralized, community-owned NFT protocol. So, there's going to be two different types of individuals involved in the DAO. We're going to have the members and the, shareholders. So, the shareholders will be able to present proposals to the DAO members, and if those proposals are deemed fit for continuance and something that we want to really carry out by the DAO members, then that's voted upon by the shareholders. And in our technical paper, there underneath the DAO section, you'll see something pretty cool that we have integrated about whale tax to really try to mitigate the large whales and people who hold a lot of tokens being able to be the ones who make all the decisions. And on the flip side, there's a lot of accountability in place as well for the members to carry out these proposals that are set forth by the shareholders. So it's a pretty in-depth and cool system, and there's a ton of information on it there in the technical paper as well.
This is said not a lot, but again, said is all needed information. At my point of view, is something that people need to read. doing your own research is something that people should do more, especially in blockchain sectors. And when we face companies that have very ambitious plan as you do, we're really keen to go through all of it. At least I do. I hope that everybody else do it as well. But yeah, actually, your view and your proposal are very interesting to see, and I suggest everyone to that is listening to this may to go through your documents as well. And more than that, you want to tell me a little bit about taxes, how your contract is built. I see something on your website already, but please get me through it a little bit also.
Eddie, if you were, or Vardo, if you're trying to speak here, I cannot hear you. I think you're still muted.
No, go ahead. Take. I'm not sure I understand the question because the microphone has been cracking up. But go ahead and take this while I try to figure out what's wrong.
Okay, I also missed a little bit of that question there. If you could just reiterate, I apologize.
Sorry, guys, it's my fault and it's my connection that sucks today. I was asking a little bit about the screen that I'm looking at right now. I'm pretty sure that everybody's aware about all your taxes, your tokenomics, but if you want to give you a little bit of look out of it, especially the vesting side for your investors, you want to go through your pads that are hosting you, your sales that have been concluded, the one that are going live right now, the one that will be live soon. Please.
Yeah, I'll do a full deep dive on our everything Spume token. So I kind of want to start and talk about the utility of the token itself. So, it's an ERC20 token, and we built this token with the idea in mind that we wanted a lot of utility, and we didn't want to just build the token to build the token, so it was there. I think, Vardo's touched on it before, the revenue sharing portion through staking. So all the revenue generated by the entire protocol is redistributed back to all the stake tokens on the platform in an equal sense. So that's why we see here in our token allotments, the DAO treasury and team tokens are staked through the platform indefinitely. So that's how the team will see some monetary returns from this project. Nothing else, and we haven't because the mainnet isn't launched. And the DAO treasury itself, this is going to provide further development and upkeep for the platform as well. So the staking is going to look like on the platform. You can see it on our testnet as well. It kind of shows the APY, the estimated APY, and we're going to do an announcement on how that's calculated as well for the members and people who are purchasing the Spume token to stake there. Beyond those utilities, there's an ecosystem-wide fee discount with the Spume token. So what that looks like is fees that are paid with Spume across any partner platforms, including the Spume marketplace, are going to be eligible for a discount based on the amount of tokens held within a user wallet. We've touched on the DAO. Your tokens are your DAO vote. And then external vendor incentives. So fees and or subscriptions paid by NFT projects, advertising partners, brands, companies using the drag and drop NFT storefront creator in Spume will be eligible for price discounts along with getting exclusive access to Spume analytics. So some different utility there. Kind of touched on the allotments a little bit. Most importantly is those indefinitely staked tokens. So that's 45% of the supply. It's quite a sizable number, and it's pretty important, we believe, for, not from only a transparency standpoint, but revenue generation for the platform as well, and a continuance of, running Spume for eternity. To also talk about our sales, our private sale raised a little over $4 million. That's at 30 cents a token. Those tokens are vested 5% at TGE and then 10% every week for 9.5 weeks. The public sale, which was, it's a $1 million raise, so 2.5% of the total token supply in that public sale. That's 40 cents a token, and it is vested at 20% at TGE released, and then 13.3% every week for 6 weeks. And we do offer daily claiming on that, and that's all going to be available at spume.io/claim. So as far as tokenomics goes, there's that. And then our token listing. So we are approved and listing on both Gate and Hobie on the 29th of this month. So coming up in 4 short days, actually. We're launching at 50 cents a token, and our initial market cap is, 1.89 million, I believe, off the top of my head. So that's a little overview of everything there.
Market cap is not so high, so there is for sure a lot of space to grow and people to make some profits. I mean, you for sure expect some people that takes during the time some of it. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are interested to hold due the potential of this project. And now in the future we will. You say that you want to run it forever. This is the plan of every company so far. But absolutely, I see a lot of potential out of here. You guys for sure knows what you're doing. We actually 40 minutes in this MIA. I would like to also have a little bit of space to people that want to have their own question to you guys, if you don't mind. So I will allow soon to some people to speak. Let's see some hands here. Let's see, H Cage, welcome. You free to speak. Please for your question.
Greetings, everyone. I've been following Spume for quite a bit of time now, and I have my very first question is the name Spume Protocol. What was the inspiration behind the name Spume? Because I had checked it in the dictionary and I couldn't really find the meaning for it.
So, the textbook definition, or I guess dictionary definition of spume itself is it's the foam, the white substance that sits on top of, a body of water, or in some cases, some would say what sits on top of the open sea. So there's a little bit of wordplay involved in the name. But even though it is, like a real word, it's not widely used at all. I actually had never heard the word used before we decided to land there. But it just gives us the ability to also define it ourselves and, shape it to being part of the Spume protocol. So there's some uniqueness involved and also some little fun wordplay too.
Okay, my next question is on the fact that the aspect you talked about earlier about investors being able to use the tools that you provide to remix already released NM songs which have been minted. So I would like to know the legalities about it, because remixing a song without the original NFT holders' permission may lead to some legal action. So I would like to know what you have in place to prevent that, or probably you'll be a mediator between whoever wants to remix the original song and the remix song. So I would like to know about that.
Okay, I'll take that question. It's very, very simple. There will be nothing on our site that does not have a pre-negotiated and rights release to do the things that we're going to do on our platform. So it's not a free for all. Let's just grab anybody's songs and start doing it here. We have a license in our publishing part of our technology that goes along with this. The artists themselves will dictate what the terms are to be able to do any kind of remixing, and will give the audience the authority to do so with the terms that will be detailed out before you even do that. So it'll be completely detailed, thumbprinted, and completely prior negotiated before it even makes it on our platform.
Thank you very much. I do have lots of questions, but I know there is time and there are other people, so I'll just ask one last one before I leave. So the last question is, while going through your white paper, I saw that it was said that the creators will range from artists to politicians and to anybody from all walks of the field. So I'd like to know, are you in talks with high people like politicians or specific artists who you at least may release their names to us, so at least we can have in mind that so and so is associated with Spume?
Yes. So let me just define to you again the vision of where we are going. At Spume, what we want to make sure everybody understands is that we view an NFT as a product. We don't just view NFT as just art. So we, in the future, as we grow into this thing, we are not going to be limited to just one product or another. We can go into politics, we can go into patents, we can go into copyrights from both art, literature, and so on, that is going to be tokenized and used in a non-fungible transaction. So this is what we do here at Spume. So think of it like this. I mentioned Amazon in my earlier, and our vision for this is to develop a platform that will allow the audience to not have to spend the money and develop, as well as e-commerce, any of the tools. They can simply license it or simply become part of the network in a revenue share model and be able to utilize our technology uh, based on what they want to do and how they want to do it within the Web3 environment.
Thank you very much. You just actually changed my concept of the whole ecosystem. I can see the blockchain equivalent of Amazon at its inception. Thank you very much, and I wish you great success.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. Before to unmute somebody else, I have a question here from the chat. So it's talking about OpenSea specifically. It says from Snake Eyes, OpenSea once lost the trust of the users because they were attacked by hackers. Because of that accident, that's Puma have innovation that developed and protect is the better from hackers. You already have the features that you think is good, and it will run as smoothly as expected.
Well, to catch a thief, you must, know a thief. And what we end up doing is learning from all of the safe crackers out there and then develop better ways of making better safes. Security around Spume, just to give you a little bit of, comfort, is that nothing is released on Spume without going through rigorous testing and then again going through outside auditing. We do a lot of that before we even release the product. And when I say you need to consult with thieves to catch a thief, is that you have to go outside the realm. If you guys read anything about what's happened in Twitter in the last 2 weeks, their chief security officer was a former world class hacker, and that's the kind of people you really need to bring in to consult with and be able to, create the roadmap and the securities around what's already happened, how the scams have already happened, and to be able to, look in a little bit of a crystal ball and, come up with some traps that will prevent that from happening. I keep this in mind, and I want to just highlight on this is the security around what we try to do at Spume. We're going to take a page out of the music industry again with thumbprinting non-duplicable trademarks on every product that comes in. So it's a very, very difficult to take it and forge that product. So when you buy something, you're getting the real deal. When you sell something, it's the real deal. And we can only prevent what we know and what we can predict to know. But keep it, absolutely not going to fool anybody. And if anybody tells you differently, some of the smartest people on the planet, unfortunately, are backdoor people, and that's just part of the reality, whether it's internet, Web3. And if you leave your front door open, you're going to get robbed. So that's mostly the stuff, is that you have to be very, very, very safe out there. And these are the things that we're doing at Spume to prevent that from happening.
Best protection would be hire hackers to protect from hackers. Actually, it's very smart so far. So yeah, actually, I think that this question is covered. Thank you so much for that. I will unmute somebody else here from the MIA, so we're able to speak. Let's say, Solar Boy, welcome in. You're allowed to speak. Please forward your question. Solar Boy.
Hello,
One,
bro.
two,
How you
three.
doing?
All right. Welcome, welcome. All right, all right. Good to hear you back. Please.
Hello, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so regarding to the NFT sale, is there any KYC required to participate? And are there limits of number of NFT that can be purchased in a single transaction?
Sorry,
Sorry again.
could you restate that, please?
Okay, I should repeat it, Jeff.
Yes, could you please repeat that question? I apologize.
Okay, I said regarding to the NFT sale, is there any KYC required to participate? Are there limits of numbers of NFT that can be purchased in a single transaction?
So we're an NFT marketplace. You know, we're not carrying out our own NFT sale here.
That
Do
the
you get
question
my question?
is answered. Yeah, it's all right. Solar is all right. Some maybe you missed some point of this MIA. You joined it a little bit late. It's not your fault. It's all right. So thanks so much for your question being answered. Let's unmute somebody else. Let's see from Chase. Chase, please, you're allowed to speak. Welcome in. Chase, you hear me?
Hello, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I do.
I'm good, bro.
Actually, your microphone is a little bit
So,
loud. Can you stay a little bit more far from it, please?
oh, I'm audible now. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's okay.
I just want to know, do you have like VIP, a very good VIP access to get high percentage of profit when using or assessing the products? Did you understand my
So
question?
you know, there's you know, we don't have any sort of VIP, you know, studio or token or anything. The Spume token itself is going to, you know, generate you know, revenue through staking, and that's going to be dependent on the amounts of Spume tokens that you hold. So you know, if you hold more, you're gonna earn more in a sense.
Uh, okay, so how do you plan to control private sale investor from dumping the chart, and what is the hard cap for the private sale, and also how many investors are there in a private sale?
So
Okay, so
our
let me go.
Stand?
Hello.
Edward, you can
Do you understand my question?
I think I understand your question. Let me address it by saying this. In the investment world, patience means growth, and growth means profit. So when you're dealing with a company where that's like us, and we're just about to go ICO within the next 4 days on two tier one exchanges, we have limited our vesting and controlled our vesting to about the best of our capabilities. But in the investment world, you have to identify what kind of investor you are. You could be the kind of investor that 10% or 20% is a profit margin that you're into, or you could be an investor that's looking for multiple time return on your money. When you are dealing with a company like ours and the technologies we're going to introduce over the next 24 months and 24 days, you have to be patient enough to either believe, trust and believe, or sell and leave. That's usually the way it works. You cannot control in the investment world who sells and who holds. The only thing that we can do is execute on our plan, and those who stay with us, it will be the same. And I will go back and reference this again. If you would have sold Amazon in the first year you owned it, you would be you would be absolutely talking to yourself in circles today. We are at the forefront of a new technology, and you have to take a look at the fundamentals of a company and then make a decision of where you are as an investor. The investor has to identify himself and then act accordingly. We cannot control that.
Okay. I just wanted to know, cause
Yeah, please,
plenty.
Chase. Please, Chase. Chase is enough. We have a little bit space for a little bit more people. We have a little bit more time still. So thank you so much for your question. Let's unmute somebody else. Let's say Vicky 200. Welcome in. You're allowed to speak.
better for empty. Hello?
Okay. Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. Well, I kind of posted my question on the chat, but I don't know if you saw it. So, my question is about the token. Token bond is beneficial for any project in being able to control the number of token circulation and to provide greater incentive to investors. Does your project have any plan about token bond? Do
And
you
if
get the
you have
question?
plans to burn tokens during the way, is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Could you re-clarify that again for me?
I think that she's asking if it's in your plan to burn tokens. I think that on my personal view, I think that every token is essential. I think that the treasury is something that all companies are keen to keep preserved. For sure, burnings events are good for promotion and marketing sometimes. But what's your plan out of it? You plan to burn tokens or not?
Yeah, yeah,
No.
that's it.
So we have a fixed supply. It's 100 million tokens. That we'll never execute a burn, and also there will be no more Spume tokens ever created. So a lot of that comes from the fact that we don't operate on an inflationary tokenomics model. So all of our rewards paid out through the staking are paid out in the native chain that you're staking on. So your initial rewards for the marketplace, if you choose to stake immediately, are going to be paid out in Ethereum. So that's another place, we're not handing out tokens left and right. It's a very, intentional and fixed supply.
Okay, okay. So, speaking about the NFT, um, can you share your opinion on the NFT with us? Do you think NFT will disrupt the current financial system? Like, what is your project approach towards the NFT sector?
Okay, so let me take this. Again, I'll remind you that the financial system in the future of the cryptocurrency is inevitable. The telecoms of the world, if you remember or looked at it, the telecom systems disregarded the internet, and I don't think that worked out for them too well. And I don't believe that the banking system is going to disregard the cryptocurrency because I don't think that's going to work out for them very well. The entire DEF, fiat, and NFT market is the way of the future, and it will absolutely not disrupt, but be migrated within and eventually take over. The world currency will eventually become a digital currency that's tradable on many, many different subsystems and immediately. That's the vision. That's what our predictions are. I think that's what the roadmap is. And having been around as long as I have, history has a tendency to repeat itself. And if I was a betting man, I would not bet against cryptocurrency and digital currency being the way of the future.
Okay, thank you for the answer. Thank you for the opportunity, Revolution.
No worries. You're welcome, Vicky. Thank you for your question. I want to jump in maybe in the last question for this summit before to leave you space for some last conclusion to leave to this community. I read that the last one here is so from Jay. Is my concern is about the personal data information shared by the users or citizen when using features like real estate. What are the measures that Spume made to avoid issues like sharing privacy data? And what are the platform security in general?
The internet is a roadmap for everything that's already been shared, transferred, and otherwise via prints and data. Again, the new technology is not recreating the wheel; it's just improving the wheel. And some of that improvement doesn't always mean the securities that have been built over the last 30 decades or 3 decades are going to be eliminated. They're only going to be integrated. So the same kind of securities that you have now for privacy and data will be integrated and carried forward. It's not something that needs to be fixed. It's just something that needs to be worked on and improved.
So yeah, I think that we concluded with the question for today to don't just move forward and have this email lasting 2 hours. We have a lot of questions from our community. I would leave you some space for some last conclusion that you want to say to our community. So please take your time.
So I would say this to the community. First of all, thanks for having us and letting us share our vision for Spume. Leave you with this, that Spume is a company that's built on fundamentals. We have one foot into the stock market, the other foot into cryptocurrency. And what I mean by that is that we're a company that can be very easily studied from the fundamental way we do business. Our profit margins, our P&Ls, and our growth strategies is that of a traditional company. Our vision is to integrate that into the Web3 by developing groundbreaking technologies and introducing to the world Web2 developed technologies that are integrated into the Web3, allowing us to have multiple channels of revenues that will allow this company to grow exponentially over the next 24 months to 60 months. Those who hang on are going to reap the benefits of this company. Do your research, visit our website, take a look at what we're doing, keep your eye on the ball, don't rush to conclusions, and see how well this company executes, because it really all comes down to not who writes the prettiest papers, and we write pretty well ourselves. It's those who can execute on the vision and deliver the products that they're talking about to the world. And you are seeing that with Spume now, and you will continue to see that.
Edward, thank you so much, Jeff, and everybody else of the team that is here that I'm not unmuted. I was glad to host you in this community. I will close now this recording. I hope to see you hanging around with us and sharing some updates of your project time by time. Feel free to be at home with us. You have our full support. I'm at least personally see that there is a huge potential in your company, and that is not something that will last a couple of weeks or a couple of months, but for sure in the terms of years, you will be very successful. So congratulations for your job that you made till now, and congratulations for the job that for sure you will have done in the future. So thank you so much to everybody. We conclude this AMA right now, and uh, thank you so much. See you soon around. Bye bye.
Thank you.